Mark Bell from Super Training Gym, strongest gym in the West. Here I am working with the Mad Dog Sling Shot. Worked up to some heavy singles. You'll see a lot of sling shots being used on this day. We've got some new ones to test out. The Mad Dog Sling Shot's available now at howmuchyoubench.net. I was also testing out what I call a reactive sling shot, which is a lot more stretchier, a lot more pliable, a lot more comfortable. It also allows you to lift really fast. Here's Jim McDonald going off a 2-board. Jim's been working with some new gear lately, messing around with some different bench shirts and different briefs and stuff like that. I think that's around 650 or so right there. And that's with a 3XL. So with a 2XL, I probably do another 30 or 40 pounds. So the Mad Dog Sling Shot gives you probably an additional 10% over the regular sling shot. So you're going to handle about 20% more than you would raw. There's Big Bird testing it out. Here's Juan using a prototype of the Mad Dog Sling Shot. He's got 420 on there, I believe. Juan can normally bench around 135 raw, so that's a huge PR for him. Here's Jim McD going again. Want to be real patient bringing those weights down. Doesn't necessarily mean you have to bring them down slow, but you want to try to keep those weights in the groove. And that's what Jim was trying to do there. The weights come out of the groove, you won't have a very good shot at pressing those weights back up. There's the reactive sling shot in action. You can see how fast you can drop those weights down with zero pain. So I think the reactive sling shot will basically work very similar to the way a pair of briefs works on your dynamic effort or speed training for your lower body. Now you'll have something for speed training for your upper body. It's 460 right here. Reactive sling shot, is probably going to allow you to handle, about 10% more than you normally would. But it's pretty passive, so you'll still be able to handle more weight even without it. You see that weight just kind of floated away from Jim a little bit at the bottom. Could maybe do a little bit better job squeezing the barbell and getting his thumb to squeeze on his index finger. Might kind of keep his wrist a little straighter, thus keeping the wrist, elbow, and barbell in better alignment throughout the whole lift. Here's Mr. Roboto, who's very red and very white and very blown out. Austin Baumgarten showing us his midriff and his slingshot bench press. Austin's been really working hard on trying to build his muscles so that he's pressing evenly and pressing equally. So we've been having him do kind of slower repetitions lately rather than moving so fast and out of control. Here's David, and David kind of has his elbows over tucked from the beginning of the lift. His elbows are in too close to his body. His elbows are pointing towards us, pointing towards the camera too much from the very beginning of the lift. And they should be more relaxed. They should be more like that right there. And then you would tuck them as you're coming downward. The angle that he was at was putting a lot of stress in the wrist, and it was keeping the weights high up over his upper chest and neck. And here we bring the weights out for him a little further, and he's a little bit more successful. But just having a little trouble with that transition. David's working in an overkill shirt. He's had it for about 2-3 weeks now, probably about 3 weeks. And a couple of days he's hit some PRs, and a couple of days he hasn't. So just a little trial and error he's going through. He's going to have to figure out that shirt. And I'm giving him some advices. Got a little heavy metal cranking in the background for you. With David, he's just got to be able to bring those weights down under control a little bit more, and really be cautious that the barbell stays in alignment with the elbow. And here again, we had him go a little lighter. Going to work on his form a little bit more now. Does a little better job there. A lot of times lifters are reluctant to go back down and weight, but if you just keep missing weights, and that's all you're ever going to know. You're going to teach yourself to miss weights. You're going to teach yourself bad movement patterns. And so just lower the weight and try to actually learn how to lift. Sometimes some of this stuff is just practice. Come on, man, we talking about practice? Sometimes it just boils down to practicing in your shirt. You don't always have to break a world record. You don't always have to destroy yourself. You can see there the barbell is on the wrong side of his elbow. If anything, it should be more on the other side of his elbow, more towards his belt. That's it from supertraining.tv.